efficient people get. It's completely, it's off the charts. What would you be like? 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 What would you be like?
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Episode 27. Pat Milano, motherfuckers. How's it going, Pat?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Really good. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Jacob deGrom, Pete Alonso.
Ooh.
Lots happening in the world of the New York Mets.
A lot is happening in the world of baseball right now.
Yes.
With all these contract extensions, opening day.
Where do you want to start? Come on.
I mean, you know what? Let's start with you. Where do you want to start? What do you want to talk about?
Where do I want to start?
Yeah,
I want to talk about Pete Alonso.
All right.
I love the move. I love the move. I think the Mets lately, within the last few years, have been making mistakes of giving veterans shot over young guys.
I agree.
I love the idea that we're going to give Pete Alonso the shot at first base opening day. Fuck keeping him on the fucking rookie deal another year. He deserves to be here. It's a mature sign from the New York Mets.
I agree. It is one of the more dumber clauses in the CBA with the service time manipulation. And I don't get, as a fan, I understand you want to have him long term. You want to get that extra year out of him. But, I mean, really, you want to wait. You want your best guys on the field, especially in the position where the Mets are, where you want them to contend this year. You want your best 25 guys on the field.
Every game counts,
Every game counts. I mean,
we learned that in 2007.
We've learned
every game counts.
Exactly. I mean, personally, I'm not thinking about the 2025 Mets. I'm thinking about the 2019 Mets.
Fuck yes.
Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, the service time thing is, to me, it's in the clause. It's in the CBA, so teams are going to take advantage of it. I mean, why not? But there's certain instances where it's just stupid to not do it. Thankfully, Mets aren't the only team that are bringing up the big guns. Padres are bringing up Tatis Jr. and Chris Paddock. They're two top prospects. White Sox are bringing up Eloy Jimenez. I mean, the Blue Jays lucked out a little bit because Vlad Guerrero had a oblique issue. So he'll be out until after the service time has accrued. So talk about a coincidence.
Yeah, right. You know what throws me off about the whole thing is, we've both played baseball for a while. Mm-hmm. It's all about establishing a rhythm.
Yeah.
A rhythm within the game, a rhythm within the week, a rhythm within the season.
Yep.
You can kind of mess with a guy's head if he's down in the minors for 2 weeks and then is suddenly in the majors 2 weeks later. Mm-hmm. Like, you're fucking with him because you're going to let him contend late into spring training where he's going to see major league level pitching. Yep. Then you're going to send him down to the minors where he's going to face pitching that's not as good for 2 weeks, and then you're going to bring him back up to face that difficult you're going to throw the guy off. I say it's a good move for young guys like Pete Alonso to get the full season to get their foot.
Exactly. Guys like Alonso, Tatis Jr., Jimenez, they've done all they needed to do in AAA.
Yep.
The only way to see if they're a big league ready talent is to bring them up and play them. So, hopefully, game will have already occurred, but opening day, Pete Alonso is the first baseman for the New York Mets, the starting first baseman for the New York Mets.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy about that.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to the season, man.
Me too, dude.
Like, not just Mets baseball, but baseball in general. There's so much going on now.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I'm excited.
Well, Kendrys Morales was just picked up by the A's, right?
We did see that, yes.
Yeah, it's not big news.
Not big news, but it is an extra bat for the A's.
Yep.
That does help them. Hopefully they can.
And they're pretty good at catching lightning in a bottle, which, who knows? That could be what
It could. It could be. I mean, we can go break down division by division, but just like you did on the End of the Bench.
So if you're listening, if you go to theendofthebench.com, hit that MLB section. Pat Milano has broke down every single division.
Just what I do. Just what I like to do.
And as of the day of this episode, he's dropped NL East predictions. So let's see. We're going to do that. Let me see. How biased are you? Who takes the crown?
No.
You want to start from the bottom or the top? How do you want this?
Let's start from the top. We'll start from the top.
Who takes the crown?
I'm not biased with my picks, so anyone who knows me knows that I am a huge Met fan, but I will be a very objective baseball fan when it comes to my predictions. Not gonna lie, the top of the list, who I have winning the NL East this year, is going to be the Nationals. I think the Nationals. I know everything that the Phillies have done this year, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Gene Segura. It's just something about the Nationals. They still have a very strong offense, even without Bryce Harper. Anthony Rendon has really come into himself as a player. Trey Turner is an up-and-coming. Juan Soto was a beast last year in his rookie year. They have this young other prospect, outfield prospect, Victor Robles, coming up. And they have, arguably, aside from the Mets and the Indians and, any other team that has, I have to look it up again, but they have arguably one of the better top 3 of their pitching rotation. Max Scherzer is arguably one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Well, I mean, he was only second to DeGrom last year.
Honestly, DeGrom had a great year last year, but over the last 5 years or so, Max Scherzer has been the best pitcher in baseball. No, he's fucking psycho. You ever
hot take.
It is a hot take. I may be, again, I'm not biased, but I think I love Jacob DeGrom. I want him to have, we just had this extension. I want these 5 years.
Which we'll get into that extension later.
We'll get into that later. Yeah. I want 5 years of what he did last year, or even just a fraction of what he did last year.
I'll take 3. I'll give a shit.
But Max Scherzer has been doing it for several years now. He's averaged like 200 plus strikeouts for like 6 straight years. It's insane.
That's pretty insane.
It's insane. And then you got Strasburg behind him, and then they just had Corbin, who is very good middle of the rotation guy. I don't think he was worth the money that he was paid, but it was the players in terms of his market. He's the best free agent on the market, pitching, best starting pitcher on the free agent market. So he got paid. Good for him. I think those top 3 alone, along with a pretty balanced lineup offensively, I think that can be what gives them the upper hand over the Phillies in the East, for the very least.
So who do you got taking silver?
Silver, again, these are what I'm thinking. Any of these 4 teams in the NL East specifically, Nationals, Phillies, Mets, Braves, any one of them can win the division. Any one of them could be wildcard teams. We could have potentially 3 of these teams in the playoffs. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it is possible with the 2 wildcards. But any one of these guys, you could just throw these 4, pick a name out of the hat, you can say, all right, that's a division winner. Really work anyway. But number 2, I had the Phillies. I think the Phillies will finish in second. Like I said,
at a wild card berth.
They could get the wild card berth. I think it's a little bit tougher with how good, with some of the upgrades that some other teams have made. I think they're up there. But yeah, you have Bryce Harper now. You have JT Realmuto, Gene Segura.
I'm so pissed that they nailed both of them.
I know you are.
When they got JT Realmuto, I was like, okay.
Good for them, though.
So I guess they're not good. No, fuck them.
No.
Fuck them.
Fuck them, yeah.
Fuck them.
But
good for them. Listen to you. Who are you?
Hey, I'm going to be a very objective fan right now. All right?
Fair enough.
I'm an objective
You're a
guy.
professional.
I'm a professional, yes.
You are a professional.
I am.
Which, again, if you need another reminder, go to theendofthebench.com. Yes. Check out Pat Milano.
Yes. What puts me behind, what has them behind the Nationals for me is their starting pitching.
Cool.
I mean, Aaron Nola, we know what he is. We know what he did last year. Jake Arrieta, we know what he's done in the past, but they don't have anyone after him. I mean, it's those 2, and then that's it. So, I mean, starting pitching is probably one of the biggest keys to be a championship team. At the very least, you got to have top 1, 2, and 3.
Do you think it's easier to win a championship with strong pitching, weak hitting, or strong hitting, weak pitching?
Well, how weak are we talking in terms of both?
Okay, that's a good question. Let's say when the starting pitching is strong, you're averaging 2 runs a game. When the offense is weak, you're averaging 2 runs a game. When the pitching is weak, you're averaging 5 runs a game. When the offense is strong, you're averaging 5 runs a game. So 5 and 2 for the averages.
I think overall pitching is what is needed to be a championship team in general. I mean, you can have an offense that puts up 5 runs, but you need to have a staff that gives up less than 4.
Yeah.
Or 4 or less, I should say. So, I mean, pitching, I think, is going to be key. But with baseball and like with any sport, all you got to do is get hot at the right time.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you were a GM and you had to make a choice, you had one off season, would you build strong pitching and try to win?
I would want to try and build a little bit better of a strong pitching staff.
You prefer to put the energy at pitching? Okay.
I want at least, to be honest, I want 3 good frontline starters and 1 lights out reliever. And that's just my opinion. I mean, it all depends on it's really hard to say because it all depends on the offense that you currently have.
Exactly.
I guess it all really depends. But I got the Phillies finished in second with a potential wild card spot. But either way, like I said, this division is going to be a battle, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's definitely going to be tight. Who you got at the bronze?
Bronze, we got our team.
We got the Mets.
I got the Mets. And then the reason that I am saying the Mets can easily win this division, but again, it comes down to getting hot at the right moment, like they've done in the past. They did.
I think with the Mets, the story is always stay healthy.
I
really think the Mets actually usually put together a half decent roster at their worst.
Yeah.
And I think their problem usually is
it is all about the health. If they can stay healthy, then all bets are off.
Man, I want to see because we know DeGrom is king.
Yeah.
I want to see Zach Wheeler go toe-to-toe with Noah Syndergaard again like he did last year.
I want to see it.
I love that comeback, man.
I know. I love it too.
We traded Beltran for that guy like a decade ago.
Yeah, I know. It does. It feels like it was that long ago, but
Jesus.
Yeah. No, that's 100% right. It's going to be good seeing those two go at it. They both have.
That could be the best front three in the league. It really could.
It's really up there. I think
could.
the National League East has two of the best front threes, if not two of the best front threes in baseball with the Mets and the Phillies.
What happens with Steven Matz?
Mets and the Nationals.
What happened with Steven? What do you think is going to happen with Steven Matz? Because
I think this is a make or break year for him.
I was going to say the same thing.
I think this is really a make. If he can produce, at just half of what we think he has the ability to do,
if he
then
could do a flat 4 ERA, I'd be stoked.
I'm thinking if he can get.
I think he could do better. I'm just saying,
if he keeps it under 4, I'm happy.
Yeah,
but I want at least. If you want to give me a 3.5, give me. I think he had ended last year.
He can do a 3.5. He can.
I want to. If he can give me a 3.5 ERA,
Plus, we
170 innings.
We need him. All these young guns we have are righties. We need a lefty.
That's what I've always said. That's why I've always said I wouldn't trade him first because he was the only lefty we had coming up.
Yep.
That's why. That's why over the years I was saying Zach Wheeler's your trade piece, and then he kept getting hurt.
Who do we got at number 5?
Jason Vargas,
the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's not going to last. Let's just put that card on the table.
He's
not going to last. He'll be gone by the end of April. I'm going to eat my words. And I'd be happy to eat my words. If Jason Vargas turns into a stud, I'm happy to eat my words. But I think that guy's fucking out of here. April, May, he ain't making it to the All-Star break.
Probably not. But then in terms of that offense that we got some fucking hitters, man.
We got hungry kids is
we
got. And I like that we're playing them.
Michael Conforto will give you an MVP like season this year.
You think so?
I think
I hope so. I'd be hyped.
He's a dark horse.
I'd be
for an
hyped.
MVP. I think he's a dark horse. I mean,
got your front
Hold
on. I want us to let's finish this NL East lowdown and then let's dissect the Mets after.
Okay, all right, we'll do that.
Finish. Who you got at 4th?
4, I got the Braves. I don't see them repeating.
That's crazy to me, man.
Okay, here I'll give you. I was thinking
they
about
won
this.
What, 90 games?
I'll give you my reason. Look at what the 3 teams at least 2 teams, and then the Phillies, the Nationals, the Mets, Phillies, were all expected to do better than the Braves last year, right?
Right.
I think that's what a lot of us saw. Or at least the Nationals and the Mets, Phillies were right there with them.
Yes.
The Nationals had some misfortunes with some play. They hit a little bit of a skid, as did the Mets with their injuries. They had a great April, horrific May, or whatever. I don't even want to talk about it. And then the Phillies got off into a horrendous start, and then they ended terribly. The Braves were I think, the most consistent team, and they were able to take that as an advantage to run with the division. I think that's why they were able to win the 90 games. I think that's why they won the division. I'm not saying they're not a good team, because they absolutely are.
Well, like I said, any of these top 4 you feel can compete.
Yeah, I think any 4 of them would be, or easily could be the division champs. But I think that's why the Braves got hot last year.
And then dead last, you have the Marlins.
Yeah, Derek Jeter.
Do we even need to explain why?
Curtis Granderson's back on the Marlins.
Curtis Grandy, man.
We love Grandy.
We're always gonna love Grandy.
We're always gonna love Grandy. I've always loved him for years, but no, that's not. Well, I mean, one good thing about them, 2 good things actually. They changed their jerseys, which I like. New colors, new jerseys, new logo. I like that. And they got rid of that god-awful home run statue at Marlins Park.
Thank God.
But they still have the lime green walls, as far as I know.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They're slowly sorting themselves out.
Derek Jeter is...
No, he's a plant. The Marlins have become the New York Yankees farm system. When they need to dispatch some stars, they will always look to the Yankees.
Yeah, that's true. Except the Marlins don't have any other stars to take. They've gotten rid of all theirs, which sucks because just speaking on the Marlins real quick.
Yep.
It's a shame what happened to Jose Fernandez. I mean, now we know everything that happened. But his death was the downfall of that team.
Well, they lost their centerpiece.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you still had Gordon,
Giancarlo,
Yelich, Ozuna, Stanton. Like, you had these guys. You could have easily built a team. And then once Fernandez was like, that's it. Like, there's no way we could go on. Which sucks, I mean, like, I wonder what the Marlins would be right now if Fernandez was still around. I think they would be one of the better teams had they still kept Stanton. And
it's
Yelich
possible. They had the young crop.
They had it.
They had the young crop.
It's crazy how quickly their expectations over the years fell after his death, and it's a very, very sad death. He was one of my favorite pitchers at the time.
He was fun to watch, man, because he was just a baller.
Yeah, but I mean, then everything that came out with how. He died and everything, which is shame.
We don't need to get into that.
Yeah, we won't get into
Let's go back to dissecting these New York Mets. That's what the people want. That's what we want.
Let's do it.
All right. We were talking about... We just finished...
For our New York fans, we can dissect the Yankees a little bit later, too. But
definitely.
Let's go with the Mets right now.
So, we pretty much went through that rotation.
Yep.
Vargas is trash. We want Mats to step up. Wheeler versus Noah, battle of the century. DeGrom is king.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we were on the lineup, and we were talking about they're going to give these young guys a shot.
Absolutely.
They just announced Pete Alonso is going to be the starting first baseman.
An in-and-out starter. He made the team, but he's probably going to
I thought they said he was the opening day starter. I thought I saw something. I could be wrong.
Maybe I just misread it, but I think he's going to be the starter regardless.
Okay.
He should be. I don't see why.
You're not going to call him up to ride the bench. He needs his swings.
No, yeah, he's someone who needs to be in the lineup. You got to give him his swings.
So let's go through this lineup. What do you think the opening day lineup looks like?
All right. Are we doing batting order, or do you want to do around the field?
Up to you.
All right, we'll do around the field because it's tough to really do that. So catching, we got Wilson Ramos.
Welcome to the team, Wilson Ramos. I thought that was a great pickup.
That was a great pickup.
We have not had a catcher since LaDuca.
Yeah, someone was saying that earlier. I was listening to MLB radio, and someone called up and was like, "Oh, we haven't had a good offensive catcher since Piazza." I'm like, LaDuca wasn't bad.
LaDuca batted fucking 300. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Piazza was the power bat, but let's not
LaDuca
throw
had
LaDuca
heart
under the
too.
bus.
LaDuca had heart.
Yeah, man.
LaDuca, like Count Dooku. But go on.
All right, so first base, Pete Alonso. Second base,
Beautiful.
Robbie Cano. I think he's still going to have a great.
Listen, the only thing that could keep that motherfucker off the field was getting caught with steroids.
Oh, he got the wrist injury, but he still came back.
Fuck.
He still came back and hit 300.
Exactly.
He's still got the swing. I know people think the age is going to catch up to him, but
he
can still swing the bat.
We'll see.
I mean,
he's got such a smooth swing. You have to wonder that, like, when your mechanics of a swing are that good, does it help you age in the game?
Yeah, right. It doesn't look like his swing or anything
costs him much energy.
No,
it looks
doesn't.
just
it's
so smooth.
effortless.
Yeah,
he has one of the more effortless left-handed swings. That's a tongue twister. All right, so third base, Jeff McNeil.
I love it. The Jeff McNeil era has continued. Todd Frazier's riding the bench. Let's go.
Well, Frazier is injured, as is Jed Lowry.
Good. Keep him down. Keep him down.
Well, what about what if Jed Lowry comes back?
No, this is the Jeff McNeil era.
You wouldn't want to move McNeil to the outfield to keep his bat in the lineup.
No, Jed Lowry's old. He's going down. Keep him on the bench as a utility man. This is the Jeff McNeil era. He smacked the Yankees.
I agree. I
was there, Pat.
Look, I am a huge fan of McNeil. I think he's going to have he already had a breakout second half last year.
That's what I'm saying. He's from the moment, I swear, I've said this like 3 times on this podcast, but from when they called up Jeff McNeil, they were a 500-plus team.
He's going to be a spark plug in that.
He's great. We need these young guys.
Absolutely.
They have something to fight for. Jed Lowry's got nothing to fight for. He's made his millions. He doesn't give a shit. McNeil's career is on the line.
I did like to pick up Lowry, though.
But I want him on the bench, Pat.
All right. That's fair. Here's a guy that I think is going to have a huge year this year.
Yeah?
Ahmed Rosario.
See, here's my thing.
A huge year.
I like Ahmed Rosario. I don't know if he's ever going to make it at the plate.
I think this is the season.
You think this is the season?
I think he's going to break out.
I hope you're right. I want to be wrong.
I think he's really going to break out.
I desperately want to be wrong.
Spring training, he was swinging the bat well.
Because, listen, if Jeff McNeil could be the Jeff McNeil of last year, if Robbie Cano can just be Robbie Cano, if Ahmed Rosario can step up with Pete Alonso at first and Ramos behind the plate, that's a strong infield.
The only thing that matters is going to be the health. We just need to be healthy. If the Mets can
Ray Ramirez is gone.
Oh, thank God.
Ray Ramirez is gone. That's a big move.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny how the second Frazier came over last year, Never hurt at all. He got hurt. Now Lowry comes over, and he's probably out until like early May.
Good.
It's just funny. It's just
Good.
funny how this happens, though.
I'm glad it's happening to the old guys, and I think that's the lesson
fair.
we have to
That's
learn
fair.
here. It's like, oh yeah, let's pick up this guy. He's never been injured before. Yeah, because he's 35 for the first time on the New York Mets.
That's fair.
Oh, why'd he get hurt? Because we signed him when he was old?
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, so it's like if Cano gets hurt, I don't want people to be like, oh, the Mets have the injury bug. No, the Mets sign old fucking men. Okay? Jeff McNeil.
Well, I mean, there was
Let's
a whole
go.
freak incident with Conforto last year, which scared
That
a
scared
lot
the
of
living
people.
shit out of all of us.
Yeah, that was bad. That looked really bad.
I'm glad he's back on the field.
I am, too.
So let's go through that outfield. Is
Outfield.
Conforto in left or?
No, Conforto's going to be in right.
He's gonna be in right.
He's going to be the everyday right fielder, which is good. I like that.
Well, he's got the arm for it.
Yeah. Left field will have Nimmo. Left
Love
field will
it.
be Nimmo, and center field, it's such a toss-up between Lagares and Broxton. Like, I think it's going to be Lagares opening day.
I think they should spend April fighting it out.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
You know?
Lagares hasn't proven anything at the plate. We know what he does in the field. He can't stay on the field when, we know what he does when he's on it.
True.
But he can't stay on it. And he's never really swung the, I mean, he had a pretty good, couple of weeks last year before he got
He
hurt.
can get hot. Juan
He
Lagares
can.
can get hot.
But he needs to do it more consistently.
I almost want to favor Braxton.
Broxton?
Yeah.
They're like the same player. If you look at some of their career numbers, they're practically the same player. I think Lagares is better defensively. But, I mean, they're practically the same player. I think you're right. I would probably, throw one out there every,
Start
3
platooning
days.
him. Let's figure out who can pick it up.
Figure out, at the end of April, you should know, all right, this guy's going to be our everyday center fielder going forward.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you got to do. Because, I mean, it's not that I don't have faith in either of them. It's really a toss-up. I think Lagares has the upper hand for the time being, obviously. But he's got to prove that he can hit, and he's got to prove that he can stay on the field.
So let me ask you, now that we've come to the end here of Brody's first GM in the offseason, what do you give him for a letter grade? And look, we can talk about that here before opening day, and we can talk about this in October when the season's over. But how do we grade Brody?
You're probably people are probably thinking I'm a little crazy for saying this specifically, but I would have given him probably like a B minus, maybe a B, up until just recently when he was able to sign Jacob deGrom to an extension with the help of David Wright. David Wright helped, I heard, but that alone right there, locking up your reigning Cy Young winner and now face of the franchise
For a good price. I gotta
give him I'll give him an A minus.
I watched these. I'm kind of with you. I think I'd give him B plus, but A minus I could be convinced because you know what? I saw some of the most colossal contracts get dished out this year, and in my opinion, the most valuable player in Major League Baseball last year we got for a bargain compared to what some of these guys got.
Yep,
we got him for 5 years. That's great. That means when he's a 35-year-old man and he starts getting injured, that means we're done with him. That's so not New York Mets. I love it.
It's true. But yeah, I would have given him like a B minus or so. Then the DeGrom extension
DeGrom
happened.
move was nice.
I'll give him an A minus.
The DeGrom move was nice.
Because we got to also remember who the owners are. They're still the Wilpons.
Still the
Wilpons. He was
Wilpons.
still able to bring in
Still
some
Amway.
valuable pieces, I think, with Ramos.
Ramos was a great pickup. That surprised me.
Yeah, that was.
Ramos was a great pickup.
You trade for Cano and Diaz. You got rid of Bruce contract.
Too. That was huge too.
Yeah.
We got a good pen right now. We didn't talk about the pen.
No, they re-signed Familia. I mean,
Familia and Diaz, baby.
8 and 9.
I feel
That's
good.
your eighth inning, ninth inning. That's pretty damn good. 8th and 9th inning.
I feel good.
I'm excited to see Diaz, to be honest with you.
Me too.
I'm like really excited to see Diaz pitch. Like,
and you know what? If he doesn't pan out, Familia could back him.
No, he's gonna pan out.
I know. I'm just trying to be a Mets fan.
I know. But like we said, we do have that insurance. You got the long guys and the middle reliever in Gizelman and Lugo.
Yep.
You got the left-hander in Justin Wilson. I think
we're looking pretty good.
We're looking good. I'm
excited.
excited.
To score runs. We have to score. That's really what it comes down to.
We got
the young guys like Nimmo, Conforto, McNeil, Alonso. They have to hit.
Yeah, the offense last year was.
We need to score runs. If we can score 4 runs a game, I think we can pull it off.
Yeah, I'm excited for Mets baseball. I'm excited for New York baseball in general because if we want to switch score, we can go.
Talk about the Yankees?
Let's talk about the Yankees because you know what? I have even as a Met fan, I mean, I don't really get the hate anymore. It's not like it was back in like the 90s.
I know a very wise man, the New York ambassador, he calls himself, who says New York versus everybody. But on the days where we face the Yankees,
obviously
they are public enemy number one. They must be destroyed.
Absolutely.
Their franchise is trash.
I agree 100%.
But it's like I don't have anything. It's like if I'm hanging out with I got friends who are Yankee.
Exactly,
my family are Yankee fans.
Yeah, we have friends who are Yankee fans. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like it was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, that rivalry that we had with Clemens and Piazza and everything that was going on back then. It's not like that anymore.
No.
It's
changed since then.
Exactly. And the Yankees have some fucking young guys who are just likable. Like Aaron Judge. I love Aaron Judge.
He looks like such a dope, but I love him.
Like
he
does,
right.
He does look like someone you want to like pull pranks with.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Doesn't he? He's like, yo, you wanna? He probably.
You know what he looks like? You know, he doesn't look like him, but do you know what that kind of reminds me of? Is you ever see the Netflix show American Vandal?
Yes.
He's fucking Dylan Maxwell.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
But moving on. Aaron Judge is an exciting player to watch. He hits colossal home runs. Cool name, cool number.
MVP caliber this season. I think he's an MVP front runner. If you ask me.
I think it's a shame it happened to him last year.
Honestly, let me just say this real quick.
Go for it.
For AL MVP, it's pretty much when you're predicting, it's like predict your AL MVP, not named Mike Trout, since he's pretty much like almost everyone's immediate choice. So I'm gonna just ignore that because he'll probably end up winning it.
Then you'll probably go with Aaron Judge.
I would think Aaron Judge.
That's the thing. He would have won it last year had he not gotten ice cold.
He almost won it. Well, he also had the injury last year. He had the wrist injury last year. He almost won MVP his rookie year. Just lost out to Altuve. That was a very close race too in terms of 1 and 2 with the MVP voting that year. So I mean, he could have potentially already had one in his back pocket at this point. But he's an exciting guy. I'm looking forward to seeing him. But in terms of where I think the Yankees would finish this year, and this can all be read online, theendofthebench.com. My Yankee prediction this year, I see him winning the division.
You think the Yankees are going to beat the Sox?
I do.
You think they beat the Sox?
And I'll tell you.
Tell me why they beat the Sox.
I'll tell you why right now. And nothing against the Red Sox. Obviously, I do. I'm also a Red Sox fan. I like Mookie Betts. I like Xander Bogaerts. I like Chris Sale. I like those guys. Like they're good. Benintendi. I really like Benintendi. But what to me puts the Yankees over the Red Sox right now is the bullpen. I mean, yeah, the starting pitching, the Red Sox have the upper hand, but the Yankees starting pitching isn't terrible. I know Yankee fans may say I'm wrong, but it's not. It's really not.
It's not awful.
They lost Severino. It seems like for the first couple weeks of the season, which sucks. But you got Paxton, you got Tanaka.
Paxton was an interesting pickup. That was early in the offseason. Was the Paxton?
You got
pickup.
Happ, who is still a pretty solid guy even at his age. I mean, and then you got some young arms with Loaizaga and Sessa and Herman. I don't think you have a lot to worry about starting pitch-wise. And even if you did, you shortened the game on the back end because you now have Ottavino, Chapman, Betances, I think is hurt currently, but you have Betances. You have Chad Green, Zach Britton. Like, you have a great bullpen. So, like, you don't have to worry so much about maybe the first couple of innings because you got a bullpen that will just take it from, like, innings 5 to 9. And then you're set. And that offense in that stadium is still going to put up numbers. Like, that's why I think the Yankees have the upper hand, specifically because of that bullpen and because their starting pitching is not as terrible as some people may think, in my opinion.
Okay. Do you have them both over 100 games? Do you think Boston does that again? Do you think either
100
of those
wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it again.
I
could see
it's
number.
Hard,
I think it's record-wise very similar.
That's a bold move picking against the Sox right now.
I know. I'm probably gonna be everyone who all your Yankee fans may either love me or hate me right now for me.
Well, the Yankee fans are gonna love you. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, I think they have the upper hand right now. Boston needed to address the bullpen this offseason, which they didn't do. They really should have went after Kimbrel again. I know Kimbrel has a very high asking price, but I think he deserves to have a pretty decent high asking price.
I wasn't against the Mets getting him.
I would have liked that, but I much prefer Diaz.
Same.
Absolutely.
But like, imagine you had Familia, Kimbrel, Diaz in a bullpen.
Yeah, it would be
Forget about
fucking
it.
crazy. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have the Yankees winning the division. Red Sox will probably be right there. But like again, that's similar to the NL East. You know, throw those two names in a hat, pick one out, and you probably have no problem with who that winner is.
Yeah.
You really wouldn't.
It's an easy shot.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting New York baseball, man. I'm hopefully. Because we've been looking forward to this for the last couple of years. We were thinking Yankees, Mets, they're both going to be good at the same time. I think this is going to be the year.
We're starting to get, we're
I think
looking
this
good.
is the real start of it. I think both teams are going to be really good this year.
Look at me. Breaking rules on my own podcast. But yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think they're both going to be very good. I miss the old Subway Series when we used to do 3 in City, 3 in Yankee, and I really fucking
the back-to-back.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's,
no, I agree.
I missed that. Like the city was on fire.
Because for like 5-6 days, it was, fucking let's go. It's like all out war. Like we said before, New York versus everybody. But when we play each other, it's like fucking,
war.
Oh,
it's
God.
war.
See, absolutely. That's what I would have loved to see that again.
But they took that away, and it makes no fucking sense to me,
because
dude.
every day, because when we were doing that, they didn't have interleague play every day because I believe the Astros were still in the National League.
You tell me you can't make that work,
no,
though?
well, it's the schedule. That's just how MLB schedules it, and
I don't know.
It sucks.
You know what? Let's here we go. Let's take the gloves off. Let's talk about these new fucking rules, and let's talk about this new rule they passed because I'm fuming about this one. We'll talk about the ones we like later.
Okay.
But let's talk about the one that stands out to us, the one that fucking sucks. That you have to either end the inning when you come in, or face 3 batters.
The dumbest thing in the world.
Come
on.
I
agree. It's stupid. I mean, the whole reason that we have specific relievers is because we know that they can get just one big out.
And those are some of the most fun showdowns in the whole sport.
Exactly.
Like when you bring in your lefty to face that team's lefty slugger.
Exactly.
And it's like you got this fucking world beater versus a specialist. That's some of the most exciting shit. He comes in. Sometimes that guy, I used to love watching guys come in, throw one pitch, get the guy to pop up. That's it. They did their job.
That's the battle.
Exactly.
That's what you want to see.
And they're taking that away.
Yeah,
I really don't understand this angle of trying to speed up baseball by taking it a little bit off the top every year.
All I know is
it's driving me nuts.
I don't know any young fan who is going to want to now watch baseball because the average game time went from, let's say, 2 hours and 30 minutes to 2 hours and 23 minutes.
No one's going to give a shit.
No, especially, I know we're trying to, or at least MLB, not we, because we are in the majority of people who hate these rules. I know that MLB is trying to market the league to get younger fans. They're doing it the wrong way.
Correct.
What they need to do is it's the hashtag for this year. I just saw it. Let the kids play. Let these guys have the personality.
Yep.
NBA stars have a personality. NFL stars have a personality. Let MLB stars have this personality, and it's going to draw younger crowds into the game. Anyone who
let them dance.
Anyone who watches or knows the Houston Nationals, Alex Bregman started his own YouTube channel. He does all these funny things on YouTube. He coming a day.
Well, this is why we loved Grandy because he was doing shit like this.
Yeah,
he was he was always filming. Lucas
Duda.
Yeah,
this is like you need to embrace that.
Yes.
These kids, now that we have a lot of young stars coming up, don't you want these guys are going to be the ones who bring in the younger crowd?
This is why I'll never understand why baseball didn't push Bryce Harper more. Or because I think he's not the perfect face.
Well,
I'm not saying he's the perfect face, but he makes for a good. Think of it like pro wrestling, right? Doesn't Bryce Harper seem like a good pro wrestling character in baseball?
He does have that persona.
Exactly.
He has that
the
persona.
nitty gritty slide head first.
But what was it? It was this whole thing with Rob Manfred. I think like last year or something said something about how Mike Trout doesn't market himself enough. He's out in L.A.
Fuck you. He's playing baseball.
Yeah.
Get your marketing team to work on it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, he's playing baseball. Like, he doesn't want to have that personality. That's his thing. Then you got to do the marketing for him. Fucking let people know that this is the best player in the world right now.
Yep.
Get to know him. See what he's like. Like, it's just, we just got to learn we got to take a page out of the NBA's book.
Exactly.
Player marketing.
Let
man.
the players, because that's what they did in the 90s. That's what they were doing in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, they were letting these guys do that. But suddenly, you're right. It's gone the way of, like...
Give a lot of these guys a personality. A lot of these guys have a personality. We see it in, like, some behind-the-scenes things. But, like, you don't let them really show it. Like Francisco Lindor, Javi Baez, Alex Bregman.
Well, can I say something? Can I say something? This is something the New York Mets organization's always done well.
In terms of marketing?
In terms of marketing, of really bringing out the character in the players.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because I can't think of an era where we didn't have certain characters.
What helped with the Mets a lot is the constant community events that they'll do.
Definitely.
Which was fun. I remember like a couple of years ago, they'll do it with pretty much anybody. They brought out R.A. Dickey to like this little league field, and he was just showing kids how to throw knuckleballs.
That's awesome.
And he was like playing wiffle ball with them and stuff.
Like, that's the kind of stuff I mean too. I mean, that's what allowed David Wright to thrive so much. And Jose Reyes before he fucked up.
Yeah, David Wright was on David Letterman a few times.
Yeah.
Like people knew who he was because
they allowed him to thrive. And I think that's something I just want to, like, as much as we rip on the Wilpons and the Mets, don't know how much they have to do with this aspect of the organization, but I feel like that's something they have always done well, like with Curtis Granderson filming Lucas Duda and a bunch of crazy shit like that.
It's stuff like that we as fans.
That's what we love. That's what we fall in love with. Give us some. That's the thing. Is like
humanize these guys. They're people too.
Yes.
Like think of it like, do I think I could be in a social conversation with a guy like, Anthony Rizzo, for example.
Yeah.
Like, if me and him walked into a bar, we sat down next to each other, would we be able to enjoy a conversation? I don't know. I really don't know his personality because you guys don't show us enough.
Yeah.
The Cubs recently have started to do that, which is good. They're starting to put out some funny Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, that's what I want to see.
Well, and again, like, you remember the Mets did this with Matt Harvey, the whole Batman Dark Knight thing. They've done this with Noah, with Thor, they're playing into the whole, they do Star Wars night and they do some crazy shit like that. Like, I feel like the New York Mets have always done well with that. But going back to the rule and taking away the showdown of the specialist versus the world beater, they keep trying to bring fans to the game by speeding up the game.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the wrong attitude because that's so anti-baseball. Like, baseball is a patient person's game.
There's a reason why there's no time limit in baseball.
It's a chess match and a dance at the same time. Exactly. Like, there's a rhythm to it. And to try and do these things to speed up the game, it's just so anti-baseball to its core.
Exactly.
Like, the mound visits I could deal with. You want to limit the amount of mound visits? I could work with that.
That's fine because I don't think I don't know the numbers specifically. I don't know how many teams actually used up their 6 mound visits in one game last year.
Well, I think because now they're conscious of it. But I swear, we've seen it all the time where, like, they want to take a pitcher out, but they didn't warm up a guy soon enough, so they go to the mound, buy time, they leave.
That's what Gabe Kapler did last year. Like, he was like, oh, I'm going to bring someone in. And it was like, no one's warming up. He was like, oh.
Let's warm up, and then you just buy time with mound visits in between every batter. But that's
a dumb rule. I don't know how. I don't know why the Players Association agreed to that one.
Me neither.
I really don't.
Well, think about it. How many of the people in the Players Association were like left-handed world beaters?
Right.
How many bullpen specialists are in the Players Association?
It's just crazy. I can't believe that one.
But let's talk about the ones we did like.
Yep.
One of the things I did love was how they're trying to make the All-Star game more fan interactive.
I love that.
I love the idea that there's the first ballot and we're all going to vote for who we think belongs in every position. And then every position gets a top 3. And then all of us get to vote again. So it's like if I voted for Jeff McNeil, but he came in 6th, I don't lose my vote in the whole election right there. I get to recast my vote, and I can vote for 3 other third basemen.
The fan voting always kind of annoyed me, though, because if you remember back in, I think it was 2016, the ballot stuffing of the Royals.
I remember that.
Every single Royal starter was somehow starting the All-Star game. It just got annoying. Like, that I'm gonna vote for guys who I think are
the best
at the break. The also guys who deserve to be the starters, not just voting for a guy because I root for him.
I think that's what this rule helps.
That's why, in terms of like Hall of Fame nominations and stuff like that, like people don't look at like, oh, he was a 12-time All-Star. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe it was because he was the most popular person in the league 8 out of those 12 years, so he got in on his simply because his name is so and so.
Gotcha.
You know,
but I think that's what this new rule helps to protect us against. Because
hopefully,
think about it, like right when they did that Kansas City rush, right?
Yeah.
One of the reasons that they got so many players in was because so many of us voted for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th place people. So instead, what would happen is those Kansas City players would make it to the top 3 of all those positions, and all of us who voted for the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th place person, we would then vote for the player most deserving of those last 3.
That's fair.
So I think it might help to protect us against that.
But I do like
stuff.
how they, what was it, 2 years ago, whenever, I can't even keep track of these things anymore, that they got rid of the home field advantage. And then they made everything about, now last year was fun, or like 2 years ago was fun. They had reporters on the field, in the middle of warm-ups, doing interviews. They had guys mic'd up last year.
Yeah.
Like, that's fun. That's good stuff you want to see. That's a fan's experience, especially someone who's watching the game at home. Have the luxury of being there to watch this stuff. I like seeing that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the whole fan advantage thing was stupid as hell anyways. But
yeah,
I mean, it's a fans game. They try to have it both ways. It's like, oh, it's for the fans, but we're going to make it legitimate. You can't have it both ways. It's for the fans. Let's leave it at that. And then let's enjoy a nice few days, the Hall of Fame weekend.
I'm with you. What do you think they're
All-Star
going
weekend.
Do you think they're going to end up like football and move the All-Star game to post-World Series?
No.
You don't think they'll ever do that?
I don't think they should.
Here's my thing, man. I don't know what they're going to do anymore.
It's called a Midsummer Classic for a reason.
Yeah, but I don't know what they're going to do anymore.
That makes no sense to do it at the end.
They're
of the
doing
year.
some crazy shit.
I understand, like maybe you
like,
want to, but no, like it just seems stupid. Like, look, football is also completely different from basketball, hockey, and baseball in terms of like, they're all-star weekends and everything. But no, you got to have that mid-year. I think,
bro.
Absolutely.
I agree, but I wouldn't put it past them with everything.
With Rob Manfred, yeah. I mean, he's just like trying to destroy our love for baseball.
He's trying to bring in people. It's like I hate when like industries or organizations try to cater to people that don't give a shit about them.
It's like, we want to get this guy. You can do everything in your power. I still don't care. Like, that's how some people feel. It's like, if they weren't baseball fans 5 years ago, what makes you think they're going to be fans now?
Oh, you know why? Like, because you have to face 3 hitters now, Pat.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Now you'll watch baseball now, right?
He has to face 3 hitters.
He has to face 3.
Oh, I'm in.
Do you want to watch baseball now?
Yeah, man.
I'm so into it.
Oh my god.
Like, they shaved 7 minutes. Like, you know what? I could do it those 7 minutes.
I can't. You know what?
I didn't think I'd have those 7 minutes.
I you know what? If that didn't happen, I don't think I would have ever gotten those 7 minutes back. But now that it's shaved, I can.
This Manfred guy, he's just a blessing.
Oh my god. I just. Oh.
All right, so let's hop off. Let's hop off that. Let's get to something better. So you just picked up a fresh copy of MLB The Show.
Oh yes.
All right, so let me tell you something, motherfuckers. Even these sports bloggers are playing video games.
Man.
Tell us about it. Man.
All right, so I really don't play, or didn't until now. Now I'm going to be playing it a lot. I really haven't played a lot of video games since we were like in high school. Like, I didn't play
the Gears era.
The Gears era.
Gears.
We were talking about this earlier. We can get more into
We get more to that later.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't have a PS4. Like, I had like an Xbox. I didn't really play that much. And I'm having conversation with one of my buddies, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm at his place all the time. We're playing the show. We're playing Madden on PS4." Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, dude, I really need to splurge and just fucking get a PS4 at this point." So, like, a few weeks ago, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get it. Bought a PS4, just out on a whim. I don't spoil myself that much, so I'm going to spoil myself.
You've earned it. You're a hard-working man.
So I pick it up, and just bought the show the other day, and dude, I just played like maybe like half hour of it the night I got it, because it was like at midnight. I had to get to sleep. I had work the next morning, and I was just like, this feels fucking great. I miss this so much. So, like, I got my Diamond Dynasty team set up, Road to the Show.
What's the Dynasty team name? You told us earlier. I can't have you not share this.
No, I had to share this. All right. So, as everyone here, or what's my nickname?
This is Cookies. Milano Cookies. Absolutely. Pat Milano Cookies. Put it together.
So, one of my favorite characters as a child was none other than the Cookie Monster.
Shout out to the Cookie Monster.
Cookies. I love it.
I like
Anyways,
it.
So I named my Diamond Dynasty team the Sesame Street Cookie Monsters.
I like it. Blue and white color
jerseys
scheme?
are my jersey. I will send you a picture of it.
Please do. I'll post
Everyone
it.
watching this,
I'll
you may
post
not see
it.
it, but you want to see it, that's fine. all blue hat, his googly eyes on the as the logo, and then just like Cookie Monster's written out, but the O's are cookies.
Are cookies? Dude, you gotta send this shit
I'm
to
gonna
me.
show you it. I'll send you a picture of it later when I get home, because the second I get home, I'm probably gonna log on for a little bit
And start playing? Fuck yes.
I mean, but oh god, I'm so pumped, man. I miss playing it. But like I said, I don't play a lot of video games anymore. Like back in high school, we
would rip them like crazy.
Oh my god.
We rip 'em. I mean, I still rip them. I had a lull. I had like a 2-year dark period where I didn't really play a lot.
I just didn't have the time, you know.
Well, it's an expensive hobby.
It is.
And it's a time-consuming hobby.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like you said, you're about to boot this game up. You're gonna sink hours into it.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, I'm gonna lose. I may end up losing some couple hours of sleep for it, because I'm only gonna be able to play at nights.
That's true.
You know, with work, school, and everything else, I can't really play
in the morning or anything like that.
I mean, couple hours a night. Maybe a game or two. Just keep me sane.
I feel you.
Keep me even.
I used to, when I was living in Seaford and I lived like 10 minutes away from my job, I would come home from my lunch breaks and play like 30-40 minutes of Overwatch. I'd play like 30-40 minutes of Overwatch and hightail it back to work.
I wouldn't be able to do it, because I would be like, oh shit, what time is it?
Never easy walking away.
I gotta leave in 5 minutes, but I'm only in the 6th inning.
Oh, see, that's the advantage.
That's like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do? I'm not quitting. I'm winning. Or like, I'm losing. I need to come back. No, this is just.
I feel you. I feel you. Don't get me wrong. But haven't you also picked up Resident Evil 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Woo!
Dude,
goosebumps.
Fucking
chills and thrills.
It gave me some chills. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the graphics in that fucking game are insane. And I love a good zombie game. I love a good zombie movie. I still think that if the world does end, it's gonna be by zombie apocalypse.
Well, that's when we get the boat, right? Zombies can't swim. We get the non-perishables, and we get a boat.
First of all, I don't know about you, but we're going to be living a zombie land type of life where we're going to be Tallahassee and just fucking doing work.
I feel you. I feel you.
I mean, speaking of which, Zombieland 2 comes out in October.
I'm in. I can't wait.
Thank you.
I'm so hyped. Thank you. I'm so hyped.
We saw it like when it first came out.
Dude, that was like when we all
10 years.
So we all first started like hanging out.
10 years.
That's
since
insane.
That movie came out.
That's
how
insane.
fucking crazy is that?
That's insane.
Anyways, yeah, Resident Evil. Like, I love a good horror movie. The graphics in this game are insane. I'm halfway through it. I've had some trouble logging online with some personal issues that I haven't really been able to do much with. But when I get on. Oh man, that game is fucking insane.
It's immersive, huh?
It is. Like
it's on my to-do list.
I've had some jump scares, I'm not gonna lie.
That's good, man. That's good. You're alive.
Yeah.
You're alive.
Right? And like you were saying before, like imagine if they did that with like VR.
Yeah, dude, bring it to the VR thing.
People are going to shit themselves.
That's great. That's what you want.
I don't want to be.
Yes, you do. It's fake. It's fake. It's a simulation.
I don't want to shit my pants playing a video game.
But it's like a roller coaster, Pat.
That's fair. Yeah,
it's like a roller coaster.
I'm just saying,
it's not real. It's just a thrill.
I don't want to shit my pants. Well, I mean, I don't like roller coasters.
All right, then don't wear pants.
I don't like roller coasters.
You don't like roller coasters?
I'm not a roller coaster guy.
You're not a roller coaster guy?
I'm not. I can tell you why I'm not.
We're going to Six Flags. I'm bringing you on King of Cop.
Fuck you.
You need to know.
No, fuck
you
you.
seem to be
Absolutely
broken
not.
in.
No,
this is everybody's problem who doesn't like roller coasters. You just haven't been broken in.
I have.
You were broken in?
Yes. You want me to give you the
Nitro? What'd you do?
No. All right. I don't remember the exact ride it was, but when I was a kid, I was forced to go on a ride. I forget the age. I forget where we was, but
How
I know.
old were you? Give me an estimate.
I was maybe 8.
Okay.
Maybe 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that range. I was told that it was a very smooth ride. Not a lot of drops and speed and all that. It looked very leisurely. Boy, was I fucking wrong. It was not fun for an 8-year-old. I don't even remember the ride, but all I know is I was lied to, I felt hurt, and I don't trust them anymore. I just don't. I'm not a roller coaster guy. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck, man.
I'm not a roller coaster
That just means you haven't been broken in.
I'm not.
You were a kid.
Okay, all
You're
right.
a man now.
Okay, all right.
You have pubes, your balls dropped, you're sexually
I'm
active.
allowed
Like, you
to
need
have-
to go on a roller coaster.
I'm allowed to have certain, not phobias, but discomforts with things.
Yes, and you should
right,
live
I'll
to
consi-
conquer
all
those
right,
discomforts.
I would consider
That
it.
is what makes you alive.
I would consider it, but not King to Ka. Fuck that
All
one.
right, fine. We can warm you up on Nitro.
Okay, maybe.
You just need to be broken in.
Maybe.
It's like Resident Evil, Pat. It's not real. You're not really in danger.
I prefer
You're not really
to
falling. You're in a cart.
I prefer to fight zombies.
I prefer to fight zombies.
Right? I mean, you get a workout.
I'll take zombies over roller coasters any day.
Thank you.
So, Pat, I think I actually failed to ask you this the first time you were on the podcast.
What was that?
And please remind me if I'm mistaken, but did we talk about Chip Gang?
Chip Gang?
We didn't talk Chip Gang.
I don't think we talked Chip Gang.
Okay. So, Pat, it's time to find out. As my first returning guest, David Freese was on the Catan cast, but he was more in the background. But as my first returning guest,
All right.
somebody who I forgot to ask the important question to, I need to know, are you Chip Gang? What is Chip Gang? Chip Gang is when you put a chip either in your brain or into your bloodstream or jack it into your system somehow so that you can detect when you have tumors. You can...
Maybe we did discuss this.
We might have discussed this.
Briefly.
I don't... Maybe. I feel like...
Continue, though.
But what do you think? You know what I'm saying? You have full access to the internet. You can snap your fingers and you're in Resident Evil VR, or snap your fingers, you're in Zombieland VR. It just gives you mass power. It ups the bandwidth of the human species. Is this something you could see yourself doing, or will you resist?
Where would the chip go?
Ooh, that's the thing. We don't know. So let's see.
Because like it depends on where it would go.
I mean, okay. Like it'll jack into your spine like Doc Ock.
Ooh, Now I'm just thinking of Spider-Man 2 now, just that scene. You know the scene I'm
Great
talking
movie,
about.
great movie.
Great movie. Maybe. I mean,
It's tough, right?
but you said something in terms of like health and stuff, right? Like
Yeah, so like, dude, like if you have an irregular heartbeat, it'll warn you. If you have a tumor, it can warn you. If you're developing any kind of cancers, you can catch it at stage 1 without fail.
I don't
Like,
know how
it's
anyone
jacked
could
in
be
your
against
system.
that.
That's the thing that gets me. It's like medicinally, it seems like a great idea.
Right.
Here's the tricky part. So now Google can read your thoughts, or
I feel like they can already do that though.
but they're not literally jacked into your
No,
body. Like
no.
you see this is out of our body.
No.
This is separate from us. What the chip is essentially taking this and putting it like in here, jacking it in.
And it would not be a detriment to your. It would help. It would detect health issues. It wouldn't cause.
It's going to be yin yang. That's the thing. It's going to be yin yang. You know, it's uncharted territory. We really don't know.
This seems like something that you would do a cost benefit analysis on.
I mean, you would
And
have to, right?
That would be not like a 5-minute thing. That would be like several.
The reason
hours.
I talk about this, and I don't want to get too grandiose, but the reason I talk about this is because I think this is a serious thing we're going to have to deal with.
I mean, I could see it
in
happening.
the next like 10 to 20 years.
I could see it
some people
happening.
think it's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years. I don't know. But conservatively,
with the way technology and all these tech
it's a
giants,
90-degree spike, dude.
It's just
It's crazy, and it's like, it'd be nice, right? It'd be nice to know that, like, whenever there's a health issue, we can get an immediate alert.
That
Who
would be
knows how long that can expand
no,
somebody's life?
that would be unbelievable.
To be able to catch cancer at stage 1 every single time, that's
That'd be great.
remarkable.
That would be great.
But it's like who knows what you're doing when you jack a computer into your system?
You're entering an artificial chip into your body. I mean, like you said, it's a yin yang. It's anything could happen.
It's
for
true.
good or bad.
I think the key is just we want these technologies, but we don't want them inside of us. It's like imagine you had like it doesn't even need to be a phone, but say it was a phone or some sort of device where it's like you could just place it on your fucking veins. It'll get your pulse from that.
You know what? Just thinking of that,
just
reminds. It doesn't. It's not so much like that. What you're talking about, but have you ever heard of the movie In Time?
In Time, who's in it?
Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried.
Okay, is this the movie where like currency is time?
Yes.
Yes, I have seen this. I have seen
this.
this.
I think that was a great, good
it's a
movie.
Great concept.
Great concept. Like it's you wonder like could something like that, not so much like the dying not have time, but like using like your wrist or something to make payments, like
things like that's
like
real.
something like that.
That's real.
Oh, I mean, the way technology and then science is furthering itself every single day, like
there's crazy stuff
really
going on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we may not even need to kill animals to get our meat anymore.
I mean,
they have found a well.
They make artificial meat and shit now.
But it's more. I mean, what I'm saying is like it's not. It doesn't necessarily need to be excuse me, it doesn't necessarily need to be artificial meat now.
Right.
Like they're taking the stem cells from cows and turning that into hamburgers.
That I've heard. Yeah, that
so
I've
like
heard about.
it's still meat, and it's still they haven't. How do I put it? They haven't streamlined that to make it cheap enough for consumers.
Well, it's this whole.
but they're working on it. I think it's
hasn't stem
crazy.
cell research and shit have always been like
It's outlawed here because of the fucking Bush
right?
administration.
Yeah, it's always been on like why are we not like
dude,
this thing can do like wonders apparently, but we're not doing anything.
We're not doing it. Dude,
to
Madagascar has like a whole research facility about this, and there are parents who are bringing their kids there because apparently there's some stem cell treatment that really helps children with autism.
I heard about that stuff.
Yeah, it really helps children with autism.
Yeah.
So parents who, doctors are telling them they don't have an option, they're bringing them to Madagascar to get this, I guess what you'd call experimental treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And given it doesn't work for everybody, but if I'm not mistaken, it looks like it's working for
that's
a
the whole thing.
number of people.
That's the percentages that it works with. It works with X% amount of,
Medicine's weird like that, man.
Yeah.
It's not black and white.
No,
like different
it's not.
meds, different heads.
Exactly. Exactly. What might work for one is not going to work for another. Everyone's body is different. Every way everyone reacts to a certain medication or something is going to be different. We're not all the same in terms of that. I could take just very simply, what ibuprofen does for me, it may not do shit for you. Like it all depends on, how we react to it.
True. Definitely true.
Very, very different take. Me just putting a very simple over the
No,
counter.
it's simple.
as an
It's simplifying
example.
it. It's good because you're shrinking it down.
Yeah. But that is a very interesting topic, and I would love to talk more about that another time when I can research. Like,
look into it a little bit. You want to come back, Pat Milano
maybe
treacle?
On my third one.
Come back, and we'll go
look
deep
it up.
on that. And we could talk about how the chip would change sports.
How the hell would it do that though?
This is what I'm saying. It's like guys wouldn't be getting injured anymore. They'd get a warning like, hey, if you play today, you're going to blow out your knee or something.
Oh, yeah, just a warning. Oh, I'm about to go up at bat, and it says here if I hit a double while rounding second, I'm going to twist an ankle.
That's next level. That's like a crystal ball at that point. But the players can get warnings like, hey, you should be stretching. They could get like progress reports at the end of every day. Like, hey, you need to stretch. You should stretch your calves more.
All right, yeah.
Your calves are getting tight. You need to stretch your calves more.
I think the way I'm just seeing it now, in more than anything, that topic specifically is it comes down to medical.
Yeah,
more than anything.
That's
I
the
think
big thing.
I think that alone would get me on board because
the medicinal properties are
yeah.
the most attractive.
The other
thing
stuff that
about
you were
it.
talking about, whatever,
the VR, the Google searches, all
that's
that.
that's not frontline for me.
You know what's funny? This is. Never mind. I'll bring it up at the end of the podcast.
Okay.
But it's funny because I think if you can catch my drift, I think it's going to follow a similar path as to something else.
Oh,
whereas,
Jesus.
medicinal first. Yes.
Okay.
But moving on.
Yes.
Pat Milano. Is Moneyball the greatest baseball movie of all time?
Moneyball?
Yeah.
No.
No. What's the greatest baseball movie of all time?
See, that's such
a tough question. It's
a very objective question because it depends on what you're looking for in a movie.
What's your favorite baseball movie
My
of all time?
favorite baseball movie of all time is easily The Sandlot, but that's also I have nostalgic views to that.
Well, part of baseball is nostalgia.
Yeah,
it's a children's game.
That game, I just because we saw it as kids, and we kind of felt it. It's like, don't hit the ball over that fence because we'll never get it back. Oh, they have a big dog. That we go over
junkyard dog.
Yeah, like that's something I always like connected.
It's
with
real.
It.
It's real.
Yeah. But I mean, if I'm gonna round out some of my favorite baseball movies, I'll give you Major League.
Classic.
Field of Dreams, Bull Durham. Actually, pretty much.
Did you know about the Mandela effect? Do you know what the Mandela effect is?
I know it sounds familiar. I don't know where you're going with this though.
So did you know in the movie Field of Dreams they never say if you build it they will come?
Yeah, he says if you build it he will come.
Yeah. But why as a society have we perpetuated if you build it they will come? Like that's everywhere.
I remember years ago like the whole thing that that the voice says, like, if you build it, he will come, ease his pain, go the distance, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like it had some sort of connection with Ray and his father.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, right? Like, if you build it, your father will come. Ease his pain by having a catch with him.
Well, because what that is,
I don't know.
honestly, what makes that movie so great is it gives you baseball through a spiritual lens.
Yeah.
It is a father-to-son game.
I think honestly, all 3 Kevin Costner movies, baseball-wise, I've seen, I love.
The Costner trilogy.
Oh.
So what do you got? You got Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
What's the one where he's the Tigers pitcher?
That was For Love of the Game.
For Love of the Game.
Very underrated movie, in my opinion.
Yep.
Very underrated movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love
Absolutely.
that movie. And then there's the one where he's the old man, right?
Bull
The
Durham.
Rookie? Oh, no, Bull Durham.
Bull
Never
Durham.
mind. Who's the rookie?
That's
left-handed Rays
The
pitcher.
Rookie with Dennis Quaid.
Dennis
That was-
Quaid.
yeah.
Dennis Quaid.
That's up there. I
That's a
love
good
that
one,
movie.
too.
I like that movie. I got a soft spot for A League of Their Own too, man.
That's a great movie.
I think that's a great movie.
That's a really good movie.
I really do. Tom Hanks, just getting on Tom. He has some of the most memorable quotes in cinema history.
In baseball history, too.
No, not just baseball, like cinema history. Like, think about it. Life is like a box of chocolates. Houston, we have a problem. There's no crying in baseball. Like, some of these very quotable,
Yeah.
very memorable quotes has been said by Tom Hanks.
Because Tom Hanks is the GOAT.
Oh, absolutely.
We love Tom Hanks.
Absolutely.
All right, Pat. We don't have much time left. But I would like to ask you one final question.
Let's do it.
What is it that you think is most important about sports in modern society?
Most important sports in modern
What's the
society.
most important thing about sports in modern society?
Playing it or watching it? Or just in
The
general?
whole thing. The whole
Well,
thing.
I think in terms of playing it as a child in any sport, doesn't matter what sport, it really gives people the concept of teamwork, camaraderie, working together as one common goal. That's something I always like. I mean, I've been playing sports since I was a kid, and I like to consider myself a team player in just about anything that I do, whether it be work, school, sports, whatever it may be. I like to think, we all have one common goal. Let's, put our minds together and let's put everything we got, and then let's go out and let's achieve that goal. So I think that's something that to me is always important and it may not just be sports necessarily. It could be, clubs or various
extracurriculars.
extracurriculars.
But we are talking about sports.
We're talking about sports,
specific.
but no, I would say it's the camaraderie and getting to know, seeing how you work within a team environment, various things like that. Watching it, I always use sports as a way to escape in terms of watching. It's some people come home from a long day of work, boss was yelling at them, they didn't have a great day, whatever it may have been. Some guys come home, they sit down on the couch, crack open a nice cold beer, turn on the TV, and the game is on. And then he can just shut himself off for, just 2-3 hours, just zone in and watch the game. And that's the way I see it, I guess. Like, that's why I don't really fully like when certain athletes turn topics political.
Yeah,
because I like
I agree.
I use sports to just get away from it.
It is. It's something that unites us.
Yeah.
Whereas politics inherently just divides us, as
Right.
it in many ways as it should, because that's
Yeah.
how you have an open dialogue. But sports is something that unites us, and that's why we do things like the national anthem before the
Right.
game and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think going off what you were saying with that escapism, I think it may even be a level further than escapism. I think it's almost like you're reconnecting, because I think human beings, we're tribal, whether we like to admit that or not.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. You're tribal to your family, you're tribal to your community, you're tribal to your sports team. And doing things like watching the Mets at the end of the day, it's a way to practice like safe tribalism. It's like, hey, this is my tribe. I live for the tribe, but you're not threatening violence against people.
Yeah. I think it's just the term tribal gets people worried, but you got to think
It's a trigger word.
It is a trigger word,
It's a
yeah.
trigger
But
word.
I like the way you put it in, like family, friends.
Yeah. We are tribal. It's how we are.
Yeah, I mean, we have our
Hopefully
own.
one day we could be a globe tribe.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But let's end it on that note with a little bit of hope. Pat Milano, tell the people what you got going on and where they can find you.
All right, well, you can find me with all my content at theendofthebench.com. Mostly going to be baseball related with the season starting up. I don't know how much content I'll put up unless we got a big story that hits. I'm not going to inundate everyone with just a weekly update. It's just going to be big stories at this point. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Milano Cookies with a Z, 56. And And that's pretty much it for me. Well, that's all I got.
There we go. They have it, motherfuckers. Pat Milano, dude. Thanks for coming on.
What's going on?
It's off the charts. What would you